Punch Out Boxing, delighted to be here with Sunny Showtime Edwards. Sunny, you seem so happy since the weight of your professional career has been lifted. Am I right?
Um, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I was quite happy before it. It was just getting increasingly harder to stay positive, training really hard, trying to sparring really hard, trying to feel like my body weren't keeping up with me no more. And boxing's meant so much to me for so long that if I'm not who I was, I can't keep going on. And doesn't mean my brain's any affected though. That's probably how and why I was more self-aware than maybe some fighters. I knew I didn't have it the same way. So, but yeah, I love this side. I love boxing.
One thing's for you, I think everyone knows you know about this sport a hell of a lot, so perfect for the management and occasional punditry role.
Yeah, well, I'm looking to do a lot more commentary. That's one of my big interests, commentating. I always wanted to be a rapper, so this is like my alternative. And now the management I've been doing for a couple of years now. Thomas Asombu fought tonight. Was my first fight, and when he asked me after I fought him, after we sparred for a few months, a few fights, asked me to manage him. I did. Took him to the European title. He's had a good career. We're still coming and still going for things. Bit by bit, it's fleshed out. Yeah, you got to see Lee. You got to see Lee for the. But yeah, Thomas was my first fighter. He gave me the ability to start moving and operating like a manager. We've had a great journey so far. Still more to come, and even past his boxing career, I would like to stay very well connected with Thomas. And since then, it's just grown. But I've only really started launching the Real Fighters Only, the branding, the putting the posts out because I wanted to, one, prove it to myself, but two, set up strong foundations that were actually something before just sort of popping out with loads of little flashy gimmicks. I was just doing what I can do and knowing where I fit in and understanding my role, understanding how it works and my side of the business works. And yeah, I think so far, any fight that I'm involved in, I'm happy with. And the only one I wasn't was Brandon Dayon because I hadn't managed to capture a fighter to be willing to fight him. Matty McCall was very similar. No one wanted to fight him really. No one was giving me opportunities, and then they fought for a British title. And we was the away fighters, and we came back with unanimous decision. So that one really frustrating year. That was probably the bane of my existence in boxing for a long time, genuinely, because I spent time around him, and now as his manager, I was going with no fight news because the seeds were setting and taking a bit while. And we nearly got close to some bigger things, but it was the same fight, and then this is what we got. And he took it in both hands, and he's not moaned, he's not grumbled, but look, he's a good friend of mine. He's a great guy and a bit rough around the edges, a bit misunderstood, but good guy, man. And yeah, I think put a couple of cameras on him and have a fighter in front of him, giving him some, you're going to see Flyweights every time. When he gets in the ring, he takes it personal and he keeps it personal all the way through. 12th round. Go back and watch that fight, man. I know a lot of you watching this didn't watch that fight. I know you didn't watch that fight because it weren't on a common vet. So I know everybody watched the fight. Go and watch it. It was a fantastic British title fight, and I'm not joking on that.
I got no doubts he'll hold grudges because it takes after his manager if you talk bad about him. Before we go on to Brandon, just want to ask you about Thomas. Obviously tonight was just tune up, come back. You know how ruthless this game is. It's 36. No title now. Is he at the point where he's going to be looked at as a just a name for some young hotshots coming up? How difficult is it going to be for you as a manager to get him like the meaningful fights that he'll still want?
Unfortunately, because of the way the business of boxing works, no harder or easier than when it was a European champion, really, because my brother gets the same belt, loads of opportunities. Thomas gets the same belt, the opportunities he gets are much less. Unfortunately, the way the economy of boxing works, you have to convince a promoter to pay the fight for the fight. You've got to weigh up the amount of options that you have outside of that and where you can go, and time constraint for when you want to fight again. And it's been one of the harder ones, as it always will be. Even though he's 2 times Olympian, which should stand for a hell of a lot in a boxing ring, and one of Africa's, especially at the time, pound for pound best fighters in the world, in Africa, sorry, world ranked. Olympian twice. He come here and he had to be a journeyman. So every fight that he's lost is because he's in the away corner at their show with 2-3 weeks notice, boxing probably 2-3 weights above what he should be boxing at. All the list of excuses, but are the reason. That's what Thomas Sommer gets. So my main responsibility is trying to just get him something that he was different to what he had. And yeah, it might not have been the same trajectory as say like an Ishmael, who born and raised in Leeds, big family, big support, big following, loads of tickets. It's easier to get someone like that faster opportunities. With Thomas, he was a European champion, and still it was setting up behind the scenes. He wanted to fight my brother wanted to fight him. We had to do a lot of work to make that fight happen, believe me. Clearing a mandatory, paying fines from a long time ago, like loads of things, both sides to make sure that fight happened. Even mandatories getting called too early and then getting uncalled. A lot to make that fight happen because it was the best opportunity for Thomas. And it's heartbreaking, really. But when he does have that time, and he did win the European title, and he did have them big moments, we're so happy for him, and he's also so grateful because as this world works, when you start getting more and more and more, less is hard to come by. When you've only ever had less, a bit more is something. So shout out to Thomas, man. He deserves everything he gets out of boxing.
Absolutely. We've seen the dangers of this sport early in the week. Obviously, young Cooney passing away. Do you think Thomas could get out of this game at least financially? I wouldn't say secure, but set up somewhat for whatever he decides to do thereafter.
I think fighters like Thomas, but as Thomas as well, I think boxing, unless you win the 3 fights that you have to win, because you only have 3 fights at this stage away from going all the way to the top. That's how mad it is. And you have to win the 3 fights and you have to win all of them. And if you don't get to that before your time's up, then financially it's probably very hard. The money he was getting was spending to live and prepare for the next one. That's really what happens. There might be some savings, there will be some savings, there'll be some investments, but not to what someone would and should be as a professional boxer, that's putting all the same efforts that I ever did. But I do think his knowledge, his time spent, his diversity, everything, to be honest, where he comes from, his connections, the places he's been, the places he's spent time, the shows he's boxed on, the clean face he's kept. I think boxing will still give him plenty of opportunities even when he's not competing anymore. And I know anything that I'm involved in, I would love to have Thomas involved in. And I'm sure there's more outside of that. 100% there will be more people and even dreams of his own that I know he has. Yeah, man. I think boxing will keep Thomas, and Thomas will keep boxing because, just like me, it's all we have.
All right, well, we'll watch out of interest. But at the other end, as you mentioned, Brandon Dale, great talent, and congrats on your great win over there in Scotland. You're right, I didn't watch the fight. I was in Ipswich watching another kid who I want to draw your attention to because he's at the same weight class, Jack Williams. He stopped Jack Hughes, who's a seasoned pro who'd never been stopped in the second round. And
It's the same Jack Hughes that I'm talking about.
all right, but he'd never been stopped, and it was Jack Williams' second pro fight. Yeah, he looks like he's going to move fast. Intriguing thing about him, he's trained by his 22-year-old brother. Have you heard of young Jack? He's from Ipswich, got a bit of a following there. Maybe by the end of the year, he might be in the orbit.
No, that's my ignorance. I haven't heard of Jack Williams, right? Sorry, that sounds so like egotistical of me. It wasn't meant like that. Yeah, but I've not. But what really interested me was the brother. Trained the brother. I've got a brother who both boxing, and yeah, man, I'll definitely look out for man. Okay, yeah, Jack, he weren't very good. He never was very good when he was having fights on small shows and selling tickets to get in there. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I remember he said a couple of things about me, I'm sure, at some point, but every boxer has my love because it's hard to do what we do. But like, when you said, he's had a big step up second fight, I was like, not him. Like, because he's retired, come back, probably on the road, really, let's be real. But yeah, that definitely sounds like an interesting story, someone I'll look out for sure. And what I love, though, is that flyweight, super flyweights, people are feeling confident to actually turn pro. And that's all you need. A lot of the best flyweights that I knew got to the top of the amateurs and went, I'm going to stay here and then be like a GB coach or an England coach or an Ireland coach. That's usually what happened before the last 10 years. And now it's like fighters are coming out of the ABAs, maybe not winning, but like, I'll turn pro, I'll do something. Get people speaking about me, because anyone can do it, but we need the flesh division. We need to be able to fight him, and then him, and then him, and then maybe come back to him, and then him fight him, and then a new one pop in. And it has to be like that. It can't just be 2 names, 3 names, 1 name, 5 names. Like, and when I came into the flyweight division, there was not one name of someone I was excited to fight because there wasn't no one that was built up. There was no one really, maybe a couple of fighters in Japan, maybe like Mexico or something, but no one built up to the point of someone would come and ask me about this fight. You know what I mean? That never really even happened. I was probably that for most people at the end. You know what I mean? That now fight that people are actually taking a notice in, and I was having to bring all of that, and now I feel like you have like your Hamza Deeds, your Brandon Deons, like Mikhail Ahmed, but they're coming through. There's more. Jay Harris, there's loads more, but they're coming through on some actual shows that people are watching. And there's even more signing, and Hamza Mahmoud's just turned pro, and like I would love to see. Do you know that box rec number? Not saying 15. I want to see 50, 70, 100 flyweight, super flyweights. Do you know what I mean? That's what I wanted to see it say. I know a lot of them get ranked early at like bantamweight or something because they're boxing a bit heavier, but there's never that many numbers compared to other weights. And you go to Philippines, there's like 1,000, or Mexico, or like there's just loads of flyweights in that flyweight.
Yeah, absolutely. I've brought it up with a couple of fighters, as you said, for the first time. There's a crop of young prospects, and maybe for Brandon, it seems the city of Liverpool is good for short kings, as I like to call you guys.
You guys, yeah.
You're right.
I'm not having that you're tall.
You're right. I should.
I'm not having that you're tall.
Me,
But you guys.
I used to think I was 5'8". Apparently I'm 5'6", but
5'6" and
yeah.
a quarter maybe.
All right, us short kings. Yeah, the city of Liverpool. There's what 3 guys? There's Brandon Dayord, young Jack Turner. He's fighting your old rival Farag.
And my now friend.
And friend. Okay.
He trains with Brandon Dayord.
Who?
Same trainer.
Ryan.
Brandon Dayord.
Yeah.
And me for my last fight all trained with Chris Williams. So shout out Chris Williams, man. His first British
Fab.
title.
I mean, Brandon against Jack Turner down the line. What a fight.
I don't want to speak to a head because they'll probably go running. Yeah, I'll be real. And he's still got to get through Ryan, which I can't lie. I think Ryan beats him, so I don't think it'll even be worth talking about because unless he comes and blows him away in the first 3 rounds tops, I think Ryan has him. And I don't think he hits as hard as people think he has. He does. And I think he'll find out. And I didn't really want that fight. They tried getting out of that fight. But don't get me wrong, I like them lot really. But I'm just on Ryan's side. So what? I'm not going to sit here and just be down the middle all the time. But Jack's a good fighter, but I think Ryan's a bit more mature, a bit more advanced, a bit more stronger. And definitely, I would say, is showing more now than when I boxed him. Like a new lease of life, a different energy, a different mindset, a different person really. And his sparring was the best rounds I've ever been in the ring of him. Was up to my last fight. Maybe that's because I was a bit fucked, but as well he was really doing some good work. Really was. So yeah, I'm quite confident that we might not be speaking about Jack, even though he's doing good though. Like a Jack Turner, Hamza did. I'll have to look back and forth. But remember, I was the bad guy, so I'm still trying to build up the divisions for you lot. Do you know what I mean? I'm still trying to make it. I want flyweights to genuinely be able to do something. That's why I will work. That's why I'll sign them. Try and get more opportunities. Try and make fights. Be involved in them. Go the extra mile. Because if I don't do it, I promise no one's going to.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this sport needs big mouth. And there's also Mikey Talon, Tasha Jonas is fighter there. So yeah, great crop of flyweights and super flyweights. How about a tournament? I mean, they're all young, unbeaten. A super series type thing?
Now I'm retired, it should be like a tournament of to see who fills my boots. You know what I mean? Like the Sunny Showtime Cup, I'm saying. You know what I mean? For my efforts in the boxing ring. But now, yeah, Mikey Talon. I actually had a conversation with his promoter, and he said, "Oh, we'll have him for Brandon Dayord." I don't think they would now. This was before, but I don't think they would now.
But he has got that British title, which is great leverage.
Yeah, but that's when everyone starts saying, "Oh, but I've only done a 6 round or an 8 round or one." I said, "We get it. You're not ready for this fight, the proper fight yet. We get it. That's all you have to say. You might be in the future, you might not be. Who knows? That's not up to you. If you're not ready for the fight now, just say. Just say."
If you can't get those domestic fights because of the politics, you might have to go international. But like you said, I mean, some of them Southeast Asian and Central American fighters could suddenly be in with killers, even if they ain't got a great record.
Yeah, with like a fight like Brandon Dayord, because I've just come through the division. Get some mild opponents.
Is it?
How easy is that? Look, found it straight away. So, yeah, I think we got a good 2025 and a few fighters you've not even mentioned. But look, we've got Ishmael Davies, we've got Adeji as well. Deja Vu, give him a Deja Vu. They ain't got a clue coming as well. The Nigerian Nightmare, the 6'7" monster. Uh,
Yeah, on Ishmael, 154 is a stacked division, both domestically from the prospect level all the way to the top level. It might be the toughest division in the sport. I mean, what sort of opponent do you want for him next? Do you want him to get the winner of Gilly and Green? I mean, what a fight that'd be.
yeah, I mean, there's loads out there for him. Obviously, he's jumped up levels that he's not been at or didn't go through to get there. So now, give him the luxury of having the fights the level he's supposed to be at. We know he might be a little bit of that, but he still has to go through them to get there. You know what I mean? And that's how he'll extend his top end level. Look, but now he's been exposed in the sense of the world knows who he is. Now people might look at him thinking he's an easy fight now. Please do, at your peril. He might have had 2 losses, but I don't think he lost much, in my honest opinion. And his heart, drive, and desire hasn't changed one bit. And I'm very confident in what we're going to be bringing this year, sorry. And yeah, British title was our goal. Before Josh, before Vukovic, that's where we was going. British title. It kind of took a well-paid diver at the top end of the top echelons of world boxing right now on the biggest show. And like Ishmael said, who am I, Ishmael Davis, to be turning down these opportunities? If they think I can fight him, I think I can fight him, and it's real fighters only. Okay, we might have to dust ourselves up, but you've got a corner that aren't too brave and that understand the game enough to know when's enough. Sweet, no one argued with the stoppage. It was right, and then we move on, and we're here to fight another day. And Ish is one of the best fighters to work with. He's one of the gamest humans I've ever met. And there's some good names out there. Look, he's already been built up with some. There's a few in front of him. There's loads domestically. Even new ones joining in. Yeah, man, we're good to go with anyone, really.
Yeah. Just lastly, yeah, because I'm sure your voice is really sore from all the shouting last night. Your brother, he's got a dangerous fight against Andrew CAIN, another scouter. Don't know if you've come across him in your time there. Can he do it?
This is where you need to start doing your due diligence. Because me and Andrew CAIN, we fought when I was 17 years old in the ABA finals. And it was the 5th fight against the Everton Red Triangle lad in a row. Even though one time one of them went somewhere else, but I just fought him twice from their gym, and then the next time it was him again, same gym to me. Just done him 5 times in a row, and Andrew was the last one. But a very good fighter, very, very tough, very good level, a very exciting fight, and a good guy. I like Andrew, I'll be real. Obviously, Team Charlie Edwards, I'm his brother, and rooting for him, and also believe he can really do it, genuinely. Charlie's a terrific boxer, always showed great engine, always showed great hand speed, great punch selection. But yeah, looking forward to the fight, and we know all too well. I've been in the ring with Andrew. He grabbed me, threw me over. I couldn't get out of bed for the next two weeks.
Wow.
Honestly, my back was. I had an injury that I suffered problems with for years after that. So I know how strong and physically strong he was there. But what I did there is what Charlie must do now. Outbox the fighter. He always gets to these fights, and that's how you have to do it.
All right, March 15th will be fabulous. All right, Sonny, great catching up with you. Will we see you at another show soon?
Yeah.
We'll look forward to it. Sunnyedwards, still showtime.
Try it.